Well, safe to say, we kind of already saw this potentially coming with the blowout success of Expedition 33 and the fact that, of course, it also swept everything in the Game Awards. We pretty much figured that we're going to start seeing games that we're going to try and emulate that success, at the very least when it comes to the gameplay side of things. And apparently, we didn't have to wait that long to get our first one. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Lanzeral, back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out the release trailer for a brand new remake of a very long-running franchise called Swords and Fairies 4. Now, with the original Swords and Fairies 4, the game was a turn-based RPG, more or less reminiscent to the early Final Fantasy games on like the PS1, and I'd also say Final Fantasy X on the PS2. However, for a lot of the other Swords and Fairy games, they ended up moving to the more action RPG route, with the most recent one in the series being, I believe, Swords and Fairies 7. However, it seems like with the new trailer that they dropped for the remake of Swords and Fairies 4, a lot of folks are now comparing it to Expedition 33. So honestly, without further ado, let's go ahead and check that trailer out together. Now, there are going to be people out there who are probably going to be complaining and saying, oh, copycat, yada yada yada. I don't care. I enjoyed Expedition 33, and if I can get another game that's going to play it like Expedition 33, I have no complaints whatsoever. But we'll see if this actually ends up looking like it based on what everyone else has been saying.
和你下山，真的能知道我爹和我娘过去的事吗？
就知道剑仙的传说果然是真的。我觉得，渺渺世间不独有人，人要活下去，也是一样。
妖本身即是恶，难道还会存有善念？
That's a little bit of gameplay right there. The world looks gorgeous so far, though.
早遇，想不到我有生之年还能再见。
Looks like someone's master just got fucked. Royally fucked. Holy God, come on now. That's an insane explosion. Dude, no premise, no context about what the hell was happening there. Now we got proper gameplay. Yep. So, I mean, it's Expedition 33 right there. Counter. Oh, yep. We got the little parry. The game looks beautiful so far. It actually looks very, very good. The combat itself still seems just a little bit rusty, but this is early footage, so it should be good.
天道不过是神界的一面之词，为何人的命运要由你们来定？
Listen, small taste of some of the crazy abilities we're going to be getting. Shit. That says Swords and Fairies 4, and I'm assuming the Red Babies remake. I don't know. I don't know Mandarin. More? Is it a giant dragon or like the giant stone lion? Boy, looks scared shitless. Well, I would be too facing that. That's a thumbnail right there.
天河
That looks nice.
你晚了22年。
And that was it for the trailer. Alright, I'll just go ahead and say it right now. And what everyone else has been saying has been accurate. This is definitely very reminiscent of Expedition 33. The combat, the UI, and you already pretty much saw it there in the trailer. They also have the parry mechanic, which, again, Expedition 33 introducing those mechanics into what is essentially a turn-based RPG game was, for all intents and purposes, I would say revolutionary. That's something that I know. I played so many turn-based RPGs in my life at this point, and I'm about 30, and I've never had a turn-based RPG that had something like that before. That basically adds what essentially I call like a more real-time element to the game. So now I expect us to start seeing that pop up here and there in various other games, and it looks like Swords of Fairy 4 is going to be the first one to basically reutilize the formula. Now I hope this won't turn into another Dark Souls situation where every turn-based RPG that comes out after Expedition 33 basically starts to utilize all the elements that they have. Not every game, in my opinion, needs to have that. Sometimes it's nice to just have a casual turn-based RPG. You feel me? But going back to the trailer for Swords of Fairy 4, overall, the world that they've showcased in this reveal trailer looks gorgeous. Like, it looks very, very beautiful overall. I have no idea what the premise of this story is going to be in particular. Since it's a remake, I'm assuming it's going to be following the original of the same Swords of Fairy 4. It's probably easy to actually figure out what the premise of the game is going to be, but I think I'll go ahead and save myself and not spoil it, because again, the game so far actually looks good, and I think I'd definitely be very interested in playing this when it eventually comes out. I know this trailer was in Mandarin completely, but if this is being promoted as much as it is, odds are this is most likely going to be coming to the West as well. And again, we've honestly been seeing some very heavy push from Chinese-based game studios that at this point, they're doing simultaneous releases for games both in China and in the West as well. So at this point, I can definitely say we're guaranteed to be getting this later on whenever it eventually comes out, probably in like another 2, maybe 3 years at most. This seemed like decently early footage, but I want to say probably like 2 years. We can probably expect to see some. Combat-wise in the game, I want to say there's not much to cover. It looks like Expedition 33, so it seems like we kind of already know what we're going to be expecting with this. The only things we didn't get to see so far was potentially a dodge mechanic, and then it'll be interesting to see if they end up adding things like the jump and some of the other special abilities that Expedition 33 had. Whereas in Expedition 33, we had things called gradient attacks, which are essentially very powerful attacks that you can utilize. I feel like that last attack that we saw in the Swords and Fairy trailer, where the character basically ended up opening the mechanism that they had on their back, which revealed a bunch of swords that ended up going up to the sky, creating a barrier, and ended up calling down a shit ton of swords on the enemy that caused a big boom. That definitely seems like the type of thing that I probably equate to being similar to a gradient attack, which I think would be a cool addition to the game. But that is it for the trailer so far. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the Swords and Fairy 4 remake in the comment section below. Do you think it's a good thing that we're going to start seeing more games inspired by Expedition 33? And if you think it might actually end up being more of a problem, I want to hear that in the comments too. Because I, for one, think that it can be a good thing for now. The problem will potentially come if it ends up being overused, kind of like how Dark Souls mechanics end up being just a little bit overused in my opinion in a lot of different games. But we'll see how this one ends up going, right? If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you like what we do when it comes to video game news and reviews, be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss when a new video drops. Alright, y'all, that is it for me. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will catch you all later. Peace.